Today I am with Angel Castillo, who is a Ogden City Planning Commissioner who's running for mayor right now. What's your take on education and why do we have so crazy low testing scores?
Yeah, it's I asked myself that exact same question, and I did what I do as a marketing consultant is I started talking to people. I talked to Rita Brock from the Utah School Board. I talked to a bunch of teachers that are in grade schools and high schools. I talked to Dave Wilkerson, who's a retired principal. I've talked to the Ogden School Board people, and I tried to get my arms around, everybody's like, oh, it's so terrible. Okay, well, what's so terrible? What's happening? And what I found, both talking to the people in the school and I am a board member at YCC, and I'm also a board member at Roads to Independence. So I'm connected to philanthropy and charity work within the city. And what we have is not a problem with our teachers not doing their job. What we have is a problem that kids are being hindered by things that are happening outside of school. It's housing, it's medical bills, it's transportation, it's access to food scarcity. There's a lot of kids that are at a lower socioeconomic level in our schools that are getting to school and they're just not in a place where they're able to learn and succeed. Plus, they don't have the resources that some of the more well-off kids have with mentoring outside of school and tutoring and all of the things that one would have if you had, a traditional solid family with a dad and a mom and, outside grandparent help type of things. And it's really important to me because I was raised by a single mom who worked 2 jobs, nights at a factory, and there are a couple of things that kept me from being out of intergenerational poverty. My grandmother was available for childcare. I had below market rate housing. We rented the basement apartment of an Italian immigrant named Mrs. Chacho, and she lived on the first floor and her sister lived on the top floor. And through 6th grade, we lived in this apartment that was half of what regular rent was. And she was doing it to get a little extra income because she was retired. And she was also doing it out of the goodness of her heart, helping out a single mom with a kid. And that and the education opportunity I had, my mom begged a private Lutheran school to take me as a student, and so they put together some scholarships, and because she worked nights, she was able to drive the bus in the afternoon. So I got, up until 6th grade, this really amazing private school education with a classroom size of 10. My 1st grade teacher is my godmother, and I was told I could do anything and I could be anything, and this is the most important part. When children learn in school from 1st grade to 3rd grade, they learn to read. And from 4th grade on, they read to learn. So if there's any gap in literacy from K through 6, by the time they move on through the system, it's not going to be a gap, it's going to be a chasm. And if you look at the statistics, truancy plus illiteracy over time equals crime. 80% of all convicted felons do not have a GED or a high school diploma. And so this is why it's really important that we have these kids, that we need to connect to our nonprofits and our county organizations, and we need to help rally as a community, not spending city money, but applying for grants and using relationships with existing nonprofits to help get these kids the outside support and mentorship that they need so that they have a path to success in school. A lot of people will go, it's a state problem, it's a federal problem. Well, yes, the funding mechanism of it is our teachers need more money, flat out. Full stop. They need to have a higher salary because of what they do is so honorable and necessary. But that is the state purview, and that is the federal purview, and you can lobby for that. But what I'm concerned about the kids that we have right here, right now. Because if we can help get them connected to existing resources, it's a communication thing. There are so many people who have no idea what resources are available to them to help them on their journey. And it's my philosophy that we should be doing a better job of communicating to our residents, getting them connected to what they need because they're paying taxes. So we should just help turn up the volume to get them connected to pathways of success. And it's the right thing to do, but let's look at it from the business standpoint. Whenever new businesses are coming here, if you have children, the first thing you do is you Google school scores. And you're like, no, Ogden, really bad scores. Let's move to Weber. Let's put them in the Weber district. And so we're hurt when people don't live here and buy a house here and spend their money here and shop here. We lose overall as a city. So to me, this is not only the right thing to do, but it's going to help our business. It's going to help our business recruitment by getting those kids' scores elevated, by partnering with Ogden School District and Weber County Health and Weber County General to make sure that we are working with those existing programs, because we're not. I hold town halls all the time. I've held 10 of them since I've been running. And at any given point in time, I ask the question, how many people in here by a show of hands know that you can get a one-time emergency loan from the state for either your house or just an emergency grant? It's not even a loan, it's a grant of $600. I've only had 2 people ever raise their hands, and one of them being a previous council person, so he should, and then the other being a social worker. But it's things like this that when people are running into a bad situation, a single mom, car breaks down, has to drive for a job, had just paid rent, doesn't have any money, what are we going to do? If she knew how to be connected to the city resources that we have with our nonprofits to get connected to state and county, we can help that person continue along on the path of success. And then the nonprofits that I'm a board member for and all of the other nonprofits, they all have this common thread of kids through them, and they all go with mentorship and education and helping build family pathways to success, because everybody needs a hand up and mentorship and guiding, and it has nothing to do with spending city money. This is I'm talking about utilizing existing resources that are already there, that you've already paid for on a county level and a state level and a federal level. We just need to be connected and want to make a difference, want to raise everybody up in our community, because once our median income goes up, crime's going to go down. When our median income goes up, more businesses and shops want to come here. So it's in everybody's best interest to get people connected to pathways to success. And everybody just needs that extra, hey, let me help you. This is where you can go. This is where you can learn. This is how you can change your path right now.
Wow, I love that answer. I love your aspects. My wife is a teacher, actually, so I really can.
Bless her. Just bless her. I mean, seriously, every time I hear stories about teachers having to buy kids pencils and notepads and backpacks, and they're barely making it on their salaries, I look at that and I'm like, there's something so broken with that. We clearly need to pay teachers more and have bigger budgets to give our kids the tools that they need for success.
Yeah.
It just breaks my heart.
It's interesting that you say that. My wife, when she was studying and when she was doing her internship, she was actually working at a daycare. And the funny thing was, she didn't take home any money because she bought stuff for the kids all of the time because they just couldn't afford that.
I know, and it is, teaching is a calling, right?
Oh, yeah.
It is a calling that you want to serve people and you want to help people, and you're going to do that. You're going to make sure those kids have pencils because you know that you're making the difference in that kid's life, feeling supported, and that education is going to be that defining factor of how successful they are. I totally get that, and it's kind of the same thing. I mean, people have asked me, why I'm running. I'm running for a laundry list of reasons that there are things that I see that we're not being fiscally responsible with, that we're not doing the work that we need to help the community prosper and those businesses prosper. And for lack of a better word, I mean, I never thought I was going to be doing this, but I cannot stand by and do nothing. It is, I do feel as if I have been called to do this.
Right. That's incredible. That's incredible. And thank you for running.
Thank you.
I really appreciate that.